for that world title.
The following is a tag team match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Los Angeles, California, weighing in at 240 pounds, L.A. Knight.
You know, Corey, LA Knight had a very interesting exchange with CM Punk when we kicked off Monday Night Raw tonight. Both men, for all intents and purposes, think they should have a rematch for the world title, and I agree with both of them.
I agree with you, and that I also agree with both men. But the reality of the situation is, last week, right here on Monday Night Raw, it was LA Knight's opportunity to knock off Seth freaking Rollins. And it was cost by CM Punk.
Yeah, but again, the point Punk made, it happened a few feet from us, Corey, when they exposed the concrete floor and Seth Rollins was about to stomp LA Knight's face through it. CM Punk came out and saved the day.
Chicago, Illinois, weighing in at 218 pounds, CM Punk!
I can understand Punk's perspective that LA Knight was moments from disaster, but why not wait? That's one more obstacle out of CM Punk's path, back toward the top of the mountain, back to Seth freaking Rollins. Let the chips fall where they may. But tonight, these two men are bound by a common enemy, that enemy being the Vision. And it would serve both Punk and Knight very well in their journeys to take Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker out of the equation completely.
But again, these two men have massive egos, Corey. They both want an opportunity at Rollins in the title. They were out here having issues with one another earlier tonight. So can they, despite the fact they're showing some teamwork now, can they actually get along?
Only time will tell, but if we're talking skill sets alone, this duo could be greater than the sum of its parts. I hope they've got disaster insurance.
A lot of insurance companies won't even cover that anymore.
And their opponents, accompanied by WWE Hall of Famer, the Oracle, Paul Heyman, the team of Big Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker.
The tribal thief on your left, adorned in the Shula Fala. Yes, both pairs of Jordans, property of the OTC Roman Reigns.
But once property of the OTC Roman Reigns. You saw what Bronson Reed did to Reigns last week, didn't you?
I sure did.
3 tsunamis. 3!
Well, I asked Bronson Reed earlier today what the point was, why the schoolyard bully tactics of stealing another man's shoes, and Bronson Reed said, I want Roman Reigns to know exactly what I'm capable of, and when the time is right, I'm gonna take everything from him.
Well, I think Roman Reigns knows what the Oscilla Bronson Reed is capable of now. And think about Breaker and Reed and how far they've come over the past couple of months. Now they've been aligned with probably the greatest front man in the history of our business, Paul Heyman. One of the greatest champions of all time in Seth Rollins. And not only are they learning from them, they're now flying around in private jets. You heard Seth saying he was, oh, look at this! Going right to work on Punk and LA Knight, wasting little time getting this thing started.
Loyalty pays dividends. Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker living the high life now because they're willing to put in the work on behalf of themselves and Seth freaking Rollins. We heard from Bronson Reed earlier tonight. He earned Seth's respect by taking out Seth Rollins himself.
Did. With a half dozen tsunamis one night late last year. And Reed now with a right hand. You're looking at two guys who many people believe, including the man who's made himself comfortable on our announce table, the Oracle Paul Heyman, the future of WWE here. Future WrestleMania main eventers in Breakker and Reed.
I, for one, will not be arguing that point anytime in the near future. I truly believe every word that the Oracle has spoken as pertains to Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. It's up to LA Knight to change the narrative tonight alongside CM Punk.
Yeah, first time Punk and Knight have ever teamed together as LA Knight looks to build a bit of momentum here against Braun Breaker. This is a massive matchup in my opinion, Corey, for Breakker and Reed. This is their first match together since the disappointment at SummerSlam against Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. Looking to reestablish themselves again tonight as the powerhouse team.
If by chance you get knocked off the horse, you need to get right back on, or in Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker's course, you put the horse down and you eat it.
Also, CM Punk pinning Braun Breaker back in the gauntlet match last month, allowing Punk to earn the opportunity at the World Championship in SummerSlam that he would go on to hold for 5 minutes before the Rollins cash in.
And listen, what we're seeing in these early moments from LA Knight and CM Punk, it may not be a lot, but it's tried and true classic tag team strategy. Quick tags in and out, isolating a body part on Braun Breaker, and both men doing the work.
And Knight and Punk aren't stupid. They realize the threat that Reed and Breaker pose to them and also the rest of the WWE. Punk now the best in the world in with a kick right to the ribs.
Well, we've seen over the last year or so just how quickly and drastically the entire landscape of WWE can change. It can shift on a dime. If CM Punk wants to be world champion once again, he understands that there is a line of people with the same goal.
Bronson Reed now, as Punk tries to send him over the top rope, and that's 330 pounds that you're trying to get out of the ring. Knight now with a tag. Smart move by LA Knight. Let's work together.
Here we go.
Well, LA Knight can't do it on his own. Maybe take the advice I just offered. And Reed sent over the top rope to the floor. Punk and Knight have taken control. Tag team main event tonight. Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, the Vision against Punk and LA Knight. One of the things I've noticed about Reed and Breaker, and again, Rod Zapata, the official, going to have his hands full here tonight as Bronson Reed looks to take another cheap shot on CM Punk. One of the things I noticed about Breaker and Reed is how much their confidence has gone through the roof since teaming up with Heyman and Rollins.
Well, how could it not? I mean, with the exception of SummerSlam, which I won't speak too loudly because Heyman's right here.
Cover. And again, let's just approach SummerSlam for 1 second, Corey, to interrupt you. Breaker and Reed had nothing to be ashamed of at SummerSlam. I mean, they took the fight to Reigns and Jey Uso, and if it wasn't for Roman taking the bullet for his cousin Jey, Breaker and Reed may have walked out of there with a victory. It was a great performance by those two. They got a bit overzealous.
And let's be honest, if you look at the record books and the L next to your name comes courtesy of Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, two of the best to ever do it, there's really no reason to hang your head. Instead, you come out and you reprove yourself over and over again, which is what Reed and Breaker are looking to do tonight.
The tag made, again, Bronson Reed. Great job now by the Vision, isolating Punk from his partner, LA Knight. And again, the confidence of Reed as he mocks Knight.
Thunderous double axe handle right to the heart of CM Punk, and now the power of Bronson Reed on display.
And you're seeing different pacing in Reed, the way that he controls the ring now, controls his opponent, a methodical approach at times. Obviously just coming from the tutelage of Heyman.
You're exactly right, and I know it pains you to give the Oracle his credit, his flowers, if you will, but that is the God's honest truth. Heyman has transformed these two young studs into bona fide main eventers.
Into the corner, and Punk got a boot up, drives Bronson Reed back. Punk out of harm's way. Can he make a tag now to LA Knight and shift the momentum in this matchup? Tag, here's Knight. And LA Knight now firing on all cylinders against Big Bronson Reed. Reed's still on his feet, though. Still on his feet somehow. And that, oh no, I thought that was going to drop him, and it didn't. Reed misses wildly. Knight looking to build momentum. Take Reed down.
And Quebec City just came to their feet behind the megastar.
Neckbreaker by Knight. LA Knight, who wants to be first in line or next in line for the World Championship held by Rollins. Went for the BFT. Reed able to counter. Went to, oh, great move by LA Knight, that inverted DDT, and now back up to his feet. And Braun Breaker taken out with a clothesline. Trying to sneak attack there.
The veteran LA Knight one step ahead of the badass Braun Breaker.
And Breaker's distraction allows Bronson Reed to splash Knight in the corner.
Take another look at the impact. 330 plus pounds of Bronson Reed crushing LA Knight in the turnbuckle.
Corey, get the hell out of the way.
I'm out of here.
Get the hell out of the way. And Breaker driving Knight across the table. Breaker as well. That collision moments ago has let Braun Breaker and LA Knight down center of the ring. Punk wants a tag, Reed wants a tag. Main event tag team matchup tonight.
LA Knight grasping, reaching with every fiber of his being, but fingertips away from CM Punk.
Almost there again. Breaker trying to prevent the tag. Knight trying to create space, but what a throw by Braun Breaker.
LA Knight threw a haymaker at Braun Breaker and paid for it. Tag made, here comes Ozilla.
Each and every time we watch Reed and Breaker team together, they get better and better. What a display tonight by the Vision, which has been the vision of Rollins and, of course, the man sitting on our announce table, the Oracle, Paul Heyman.
Absolute power and total control. And look at this, making a mockery of the OTC, the tribal thief.
Well, the man who delivered 3 tsunamis to Roman Reigns, leaving Reigns a mess in the ring last week. LA Knight sunset flip, that's not going to work against a 330-pounder, I don't believe. But that will, out of harm's way, can he make a tag?
Oh, wait, keep your eyes on Breaker on the far side. Punk saw him coming.
Yeah, but Punk jumped off the apron to go after Breaker, and it doesn't allow Knight to get there for a tag. I mean, Punk was caught between a rock and a hard place, to use the pun, but
oh,
and a senton!
That'll liquefy your insides.
I mean, if you're Punk, what were you going to do?
Cover here.
Cover now by Reed and a kick out. Punk stays on the apron. He's a sitting duck, so he goes right after Breaker, and then Knight couldn't make the tag.
Yeah, I agree with you, Cole. I think Punk chose the lesser of two evils in that instance. Unfortunately, it backfired for LA Knight. What the hell are these two animals thinking now?
Well, anything they want to do. We saw this last week, Graves. Paying homage to the Steiners. Cover. Punk breaking things up.
Reed making a beeline, dumping Punk to the outside.
Punk and Knight just cannot get any offense going here in the latter part of this match.
And what's standing out to me is even in the heat of battle, even when occasionally things haven't gone the Vision's way, how cool and calm under pressure Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed have been tonight.
And again, that's the Rollins and Heyman tutelage.
You're absolutely right.
When do you ever see Seth out of control in a match? Nobody home. Knight out of harm's way. Punk's made his way back to the apron. Critical moment for Knight, not quite sure where he's at. Reed trying to make it to his corner. Tag, tag. Punk and Breaker legal.
Here we go.
Boot and a clothesline by the Second City Saint, CM Punk. Heel kick to the face.
Punk having a little fun at the expense of Braun Breaker.
Delivers the suplex to Breaker. And Punk into the corner with that running high knee. And another one by Punk.
Short arm clothesline by the Second City Saint. Punk making his way to the top rope, but Bronson Reed.
LA Knight intercepts him though.
Look out!
And Knight driving Reed in and on top of our announce table.
Punk now perched on the top turnbuckle. Braun Breaker is down in the middle of the ring.
Elbow connecting. And Punk looking for the go to sleep. Well, I guess the private jet never took off. Seth Rollins, the world champ, is back. Gonna force the match to be over with a disqualification. Rollins doesn't care. He's beating the hell out of Punk.
And what this says to me, Cole, is that Rollins is feeling the heat. Rollins was concerned about the outcome of this tag team match and felt the need to insert himself.
Well, he's done just that. And Punk and LA Knight have been beaten down. Well, they got some backup. Main event, Jey Uso's here with an equalizer.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Main event, Jey Uso, steel chair in hand.
Right to the midsection of Breaker. And now Jey Uso unloading on Breaker. Breaker's down. And Reed says, bring it, Jey.
You see Rollins standing behind Big Bronson Reed.
Damus Wiley with a chair, and that was just swatted away by Reed. And Uso with a right. And Big Bronson Reed suffers a chair to the spine. Not quite the way Rollins and company envision this night going.
3 men, 1 goal. Seth freaking Rollins.
Seth. You know, it'd be so easy to come out here and be so angry at you. Think about this, Seth. You're a liar. You're a master manipulator. You disrupt main events, and now you and your buddies are out here trying to injure your fellow superstars. But, Seth, I'm not going to be angry about it. Instead, I'm going to see all of this as an opportunity. An opportunity for me, an opportunity for you. But Seth, you want to listen to this part, an opportunity for the World Heavyweight Championship. Because it's simple, Seth freaking Rollins. You just earned a freaking opportunity to defend the freaking World Heavyweight Championship, and you will at Clash in Paris against main event Jey Uso. And LA Knight. No. And CM Punk. It's a fatal four-way, Paul Heyman, and it is official.
We can't do that.
2 weeks from Sunday
That is not gonna happen.
at Clash in
That is not
Paris,
gonna happen.
a fatal four-way for the world titles. Finally, temper's getting the best of these two. I guess they didn't like the call by the general manager.
Listen, they both got what they wanted, as did main event Jey Uso.
And Jey now trying to separate the two, and a back elbow to Jey by Knight. And now Punk with Knight on his shoulders. Man, if things broken down quickly. Oh, and a spear by Breaker.
The Vision waited for the opportunity to pounce. As Seth's challengers were fighting with one another, the Vision struck as a cohesive unit. LA Knight dumped to the outside.
And now Breaker taking out Punk. Jey Uso's been laid to waste. Rollins directing traffic.
Seth Rollins was feeling the heat. His kitchen just went up in flames. But here comes Braun Breaker.
LA Knight, turn around, Braun Breaker with a spear tonight. And Big Bronson Reed, that Death Valley driver to Jey Uso. And this is not good for Jey.
Oh, no.
This happened to Roman last week. And now, Bronson Reed, tsunami!
Rollins still calling the shots, ordering Breaker to return LA Knight to the ring. And we unfortunately know exactly what for.
3 carcasses, defenseless in the ring. Rollins with a stomp tonight. The officials coming out here to try to, I'm not quite sure what they're going to do.
Absolute power and total control.
And now the world champion, Rollins with a stomp to Jey Uso. Sending a message to all 3 men he'll defend against it. Clash in Paris in 2 weeks from Sunday.
Ain't no way, Paul. As I breathe, you will never, ever hold that title line. Let him go.
And Rollins with another stomp. Seth Rollins' vision is pretty damn clear. Absolute power, absolute dominance, and tonight, absolute destruction.